Today's lesson for Course 2 is Lesson 2.7, Rational Numbers. Please get out your notebooks and copy down the title of this lesson before we get started. A rational number, make sure you copy this definition down in your notes, is a number that can be written as a quotient, which really just means a quotient is an answer to a division problem. So it can be a fraction or a decimal. So it's a quotient of two integers where the divisor is not 0. This means that the denominator is not going to be 0. And some examples are 2/5, 0.3 repeating, -6, and 3 1/2. So we're going to look at comparing rational numbers. We have -2/3 and -1/6, and we have to determine if -2/3 is greater than, equal to, or less than -1/6. So the first thing that we need to do is find a common denominator, which we know is going to be 6. So the second fraction is not going to change because it already has the denominator of 6. So I asked myself, what do I multiply 3 by to get 6? And I multiply by 2. So I have to multiply the numerator by 2. -2 times 2 is -4. Now when we think about a number line and we start here at 0 and this is -1, and we divide this into 6, this would be -1/6, -2/6, -3/6, -4/6, -5/6. Remember, the farther you move left on the number line, the smaller a number is. So here's -4/6, and here's -1/6. So -4/6 is actually less than -1/6. So that means back in our original problem, -2/3 would be less than -1/6 because it's farther left on the number line. Why don't you pause the video and try this problem on your own. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you did. So again, we're going to find a common denominator. We have 4 and 8, and the least common denominator between those two is 8. The second fraction we're not going to have to do anything to because it already has 8 for a denominator. This fraction we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So we have -2/8, and that would be greater than -2/3. So if we go back, or -3/8. So if we go back to the original fraction, -1/4 is greater than -3/8. Now when we're comparing decimals, we'll want to use the number line again, and if we start here at -4 and we have -4.1, -4.2, -4.3, -4.4, -4.5, 4.6, -4.7, running out of room here. -4.8 and -4.9. So if we were to graph those on the number line, here's -4.9 and here's -4.2. -4.9 is farther left, which means that it's going to be smaller, so that means that -4.2 is greater. So -4.2 would be greater than -4.9. Why don't you pause the video again and try this problem on your own. Okay, let's see how you did. If we draw The number line again, we start here at 8, and then we have negative 8, negative 8.1, negative 8.2, negative 8.3, negative 8.4, negative 8.5, negative 8.6, and negative 8.7. And if we were to graph those, here's negative 8.7 and here's negative 8.1. So negative 8.7 is going to be less than, because it's farther left on the number line, than negative 8.1. Sometimes we have story problems and we want to put rational numbers in order from least to greatest. So the temperatures were recorded during a science project. We have 12.5 degrees Celsius. We have negative 4 degrees Celsius, 6.55 degrees Celsius, and negative 6 1/4 degrees Celsius. Sometimes we would need to change fractions into decimals, but for this problem we really don't have to, because we can tell actually which is the smallest. So this here is the smallest number. So our first number would be negative 6 1/4 degrees Celsius, and then the second number, so this would be number 1. Number 2 would be negative 4 degrees Celsius. Then number 3 would be 6.55 degrees Celsius. And then the last one, number 4, the highest temperature is 12.5 degrees Celsius. So we put those in order from least to greatest. This one here I want you to try on your own and see how you do. Pause the video and turn it on when you're ready. Okay, when we look at this here, I know that 3/5 is equal to 0.6. So this is negative 6/10. This is already a decimal, and I know that 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. And then we have negative 1/2 as a decimal. So the smallest number is going to be negative 3/5. And then the next one is going to be our decimal, negative 1/2. Now, because 6 repeating is 6 going on forever and ever, and we compare these, this number here is smaller than this number here. So the 0.625 is going to be the third number, and the last number is going to be 2/3. Those are the numbers in order from least to greatest. That's all for today. Make sure you come to class with any questions that you have. Thanks for listening.